Literacy rates are dropping in the country, but there's something that can be done, and I'll be talking with two people who are doing something about this. Welcome to Valley Viewpoint. And Monica and Renata, welcome to Valley Viewpoint. It's good to have you with us.
It's really good to be here.
We are going to be talking today about the Dolly Parton Imagination Library. So we have a silent guest that's with us today. And what is the Dolly Parton Imagination Library?
So Dolly Parton's Imagination Library, which we refer to as DPIL for short, is a book gifting program that gives books to every single child in a represented area under 5 years old every single month at no cost to the family. The whole goal of the program is to make sure that every child has access to early reading.
Now tell us about the association with Dolly Parton. Did you just need an attractive blonde spokesperson, or why is it the Dolly Parton Imagination Library?
So Dolly Parton was raised by a father who couldn't read, and so she had firsthand experience of what illiteracy had on their family and the long-term impacts to her as a child, her formative years, all of those pieces. And she was very passionate as she became successful that everybody should have access to books and learning to read and the tools needed to be successful. And so in 1995, Dolly Parton's Foundation actually created Dolly Parton's Imagination Library and started their first program. It is now a worldwide program as long as the communities have a nonprofit affiliate to help keep it local.
Okay, now what does that mean, a nonprofit affiliate? How does the local nonprofit work together with the foundation that created this program?
So United Way of the Blue Mountain partnered with the Dolly Parton Foundation, and what that means is Dolly Parton's Foundation manages the physical books and the purchase of the books and the scheduling of what those books will be, and then the nonprofits, United Way, actually take care of managing that and the enrollments and the database that manages where those books are going to go every month. And then we also cover all of the expenses for the shipping and costs and things like that, which is pretty phenomenal that the books that we are able to provide to these families average you anywhere from, if we went into the store or on Amazon, anywhere from $6 to $17 a book. And yet we're able to offer this program to our families for only $25 per child per year. So
So how many books will they get throughout the year?
They will get 12 books through the year. They get a book every single month until they hit 5 years old. And again, there's no cost to the families. And they're high quality, age appropriate books, so they're all based on what the child's year of life age is and their brain development and the different social cues and things like that. So books like Leland brought his newest book with him today to share.
Thank you, Leland.
The Llama Llama books are some of my favorite books as a parent that I've read to my kids, and they are just the best. They're not, they're not cheapy books. They're really great books that even as parents, we can get excited about seeing them come in the mail every month.
Now, Renata, you're a parent, also the vice president of United Way of the Blue Mountains. So tell us, from a parent's perspective, how you got interested in the DPIL.
So before I even had Leland, I knew that literacy was going to be a major impact in his life. And so our baby shower, we actually asked for books. And when we moved to our community that we live in now, I was introduced to the Dolly Parton Imagination Library, and we signed up. I was excited that he was going to be getting an age-appropriate book each month, and something that he can look forward to as he grows. He can get excited that, okay, we're going to go to the mailbox and we're going to get a book today. And that new book is going to be something that we can read to him before bedtime or during, reading time throughout the day. And it's a pleasant surprise, and it's nice that it's something that just comes to him. We don't have to, go seek it out. It's there, and it's available to everyone.
Wow. So, Leland, do you like the books? Is that a yes? I think so. I think that's a yes.
Thank you.
So, Monica, how long has this program been affiliated with this local partner, United Way of the Blue Mountains?
So we signed on as the local affiliate representing Columbia, Garfield, Umatilla, and Walla Walla counties November of 2021. So it's been about 14 months.
Okay.
And so it is available to every single child under 5 years old that lives in one of those 4 represented counties.
So it doesn't depend upon your income?
No.
It only depends upon your residency.
Residency and age, those are the only 2 eligibility criteria at all. It's incredible.
That's wonderful. And you're going to get at least a dozen books every year.
Yep.
And it's no cost to the families.
Yeah.
And somebody is taking care of this. Now, I'd like to know how this is being funded then. Now, apparently the Dolly Parton Foundation is taking care of the actual materials, the books that are being distributed.
Yep.
But then there has to be a local partner, and there are expenses associated with distributing the books, locating the families, and so forth.
Yep.
So how is that paid for?
So we have worked really, really hard as we roll out the program and its availability, to make sure that we are partnering with every available option in our community. So we are writing grants, both locally, state level, federally. We are making sure that any different funding source we can find. We're also making sure that as we've appealed to our communities, and this year during our giving campaigns, we made sure that they realized that sponsoring children through Dolly Parton's Imagination Library is a great way to give. We ran a giving campaign at the end of the holiday season that really pushed the idea of giving the gift of reading to a child over the holiday season. So people were sponsoring that way and signing up to donate. We also made sure that as we were doing our workplace campaigns, where we partner with local businesses and school districts, we really made sure that the employees of those partners knew that as they were looking at potentially supporting United Way and giving, that this was a great opportunity to be able to do that. So.
Well, I would like to come back to how the educators in the area are responding to this particular initiative. But before we go there, what would you consider to be the biggest hurdle that you've had to overcome in getting this program for our local people?
I think the biggest hurdle that we have found seriously has been the awareness. So making sure that families know this is available. So we can get into workplaces and our appeals, and we can get in front of our donors and social media and press releases, but really getting into the families that are not familiar with United Way and making sure that they know that the program is available and truly cost-free, and that it takes less than 5 minutes for them to enroll and have those books start to come. The awareness has been the biggest piece that we have found we have to push for. So making sure that people that are aware of the program are sharing it and advocating it for it is really important.
Now, Renata, I'm going to ask you to take off your parent hat for a minute and put on your vice president hat for a minute. How do you see the Dolly Parton Imagination Library aligning with the purposes of United Way in the area?
That's a very good question. So United Way is very focused on younger people and making sure they are equipped with the resources, yes please, necessary to be successful later in life. And literacy is one of those major components to being successful later. And that's why I think the program is so great, that we can offer it and help make those connections in areas that might not otherwise have that access. And so it's a great tool to use to align with what we're trying to do and help our communities.
That's tremendous. So there are parents that are watching right now that have never heard about DPIL, and they're probably saying, boy, I wish I'd have known about this. What do they do if they have a child under 5 years of age and they want to avail themselves of this great opportunity?
So it's really, really easy. Signing up online is the easiest way to enroll. It's quick and easy. They can go to the United Way of the Blue Mountains website, and there's great big runner on our home page for DPIL. They just click enroll now, and it takes less than 5 minutes. It's simple information as far as names, addresses, and the child's birth date to make sure that they know what development age they're at. And it's fun to also include the fact that each of these books comes addressed directly to the child. So every month, not only are they getting a book, but they're getting that package in the mail that they look forward to. I know my kids, even my kindergartner, she doesn't even care if I hand her the bills that I don't want to see. She gets excited about mail. So now they get really fun packages every month. So if a family doesn't have access to online or getting to our website, a couple of other options. They can go to one of our local libraries who we partner with, and they can sign up at the library. There's also hard copy forms at the libraries as well, if that's easier for them.
So are the libraries in these 4 counties that you mentioned cooperating with this effort?
They've been amazing partners to us for this, as far as having resources available at the libraries for people to enroll and find information. The bookmobile has been great. He makes sure that he takes Dolly and the DPIL materials to the fair this fall, and any place he goes that might be a great place for people to find it.
And I want to alert our viewers that in just a minute we are going to be having that contact information on the screen. So if you want to take advantage of this tremendous opportunity, no cost to you, then get your pencil, your pen, something to write on, because the information that you need to make contact with DPIL is going to be on your screen. So get ready, it's coming up soon. Okay, so all you have to do is go online. If you don't have access, you can go to a local library or to the schools.
Yep, schools have information too.
Okay, and that's any elementary school in the...
Yep, they all have information, and they all have access to the resources to get their kids enrolled.
So you sign up.
Yep.
Now, when we come back to the second half of the program, I want to find out what happens after you sign up.
Great.
So don't go away. We're going to be right back, and we'll be talking more about this amazing program and the resources that are being provided to children without regard to your income status throughout the 4 counties of United Way of the Blue Mountains. Hello and welcome back to Valley Viewpoint. If you are just joining us, my guests today are talking about the Dolly Parton Imagination Library, and here to help us out is Dolly herself. So, Monica, when we went to break, we were talking about how you sign up for the program. But after you've signed up, what's the next step?
The next step is just wait. So it takes about 6 weeks after the initial submitting your enrollment for us to get the child approved, get on that mailing list, get them into that distribution list for that following month. So about 6 weeks after you've submitted that enrollment, the child will get their first book. Again, it'll come wrapped up, it'll have on the mailing label directly to the actual child. And then after that, every month those books will arrive to your home, every single month. If a family is relocating, so moving to a new home, they've got a change of address, it's really, really important that they get a hold of us at United Way so that we can update that address so there's not a break in deliveries.
Now, let me ask you a sensitive question. I'm sure there are parents out there who are thinking, I'm really, really careful about giving out information about my children because there are people that should not get a hold of this information, and we want to be protective of our children. So if I am submitting my child's name, it's also going to have their age. Obviously we want the books to be the kind of books that they're ready for. So that's some information that the wrong people could abuse. So how safe is the program keeping the wrong people from getting this information?
So that database is a completely secured database with no access without having it actually be cleared through the national headquarters of Dolly Parton's Foundation. And so only cleared individuals that have actually been named on the contracts are eligible to actually access that database. So beyond that, the only information that ever leaves that is only what's on that mailing label, which is just a name and address. There's no ages, just name and address. And unless you're familiar with the program, they wouldn't even know that this was going directly to the child versus a parent.
Mm-hmm.
So it's it's very, very secured. There's no other sensitive details beside name and child's birth date. So there's no other sensitive questions. There's no social security numbers, nothing like that. Just parent's name and address, child's name, birth date. So.
Now I know you're also a parent. You're not just the person that runs the program. You seem to be very passionate about the Imagination Library. Why is it important to you?
So yes, I have 4 kids of my own. So they are staggered in ages. I have 6, 12, 15, and almost 19. And as a parent, when they were little, books were kind of our escape from whatever might have happened in the day or the week or the weather. It opened our windows to a completely different universe, and it shows our kids so much. And out of my 4 kids, I have one child who, when he was little, really struggled with reading. It wasn't his strong course in school. And I really think that being able to spend that time as a parent working with our kids and getting them access to books is so important. And he knew, even when he struggled, that when he came home, we could read together. So even though it was difficult, we had those books, we could work through it, and it was something that bonded he and I. Beyond that, it has opened my kids to so many opportunities, being able to know what's out there and available. And I just think it gives our kids such a great foundation for their entire learning career through their schooling and beyond. Everybody knows that studies and data points and everything shows that when kids are exposed to books and learning prior to kindergarten age, their test scores, their kindergarten readiness, and long-term learning scores are always markedly higher. And so knowing that just as part of my day in my work and in my job, that I can help to support that and provide that to the other early learners in our communities just makes me happy.
So Renata, how old is Leland?
He is 18 months.
18 months.
Mm-hmm.
And he's already started in the program.
Yes, yeah, we had him signed up before he was even a month old.
So, if what Monica says is right, we have a genius in the making right here in the
absolutely.
studio.
Yes.
He's running a smart watch at the
already,
moment.
yes.
What do you think of that, Leland? You're going to be the next Einstein.
Mm-hmm.
We're pretty excited about that. Now, Monica, if there's a viewer out there that's saying, that's wonderful, you know, I have a business, how can I support that? Or maybe just an individual donor wants to do something to help this program reach as many people as possible. What can they do?
So there are so many different avenues. So super easy. If you want to give a donation and sponsor a child, it's so easy to go online, go to our website. There's a donate now button. You can give online, mail checks. You can email or give me a call directly. All of my information is on our website, or it's also going to be on your screen later. Reach out to me. We love working directly with our businesses to really make sure that whatever their vision of how they want to support this program is really catered directly to them. Do they want to be known as, you know, one of our region's leading supporters of early learning? We can make sure that that happens. If they want to quietly make sure that they're supporting, we can make sure that that happens too. But there are many, many options, and we want to make sure that those are all tailored exactly to our donors, and it's handled very sensitively. So the best way is either to go online and make the donation or get a hold of me, and I'd be happy to talk to you about it.
Now, in communities, there are a lot of people that have the interests of our kids at heart. Okay? And sometimes it seems like this organization is going at it this way, and this organization is going at it this way, and it becomes more of a competitive effort than a cooperative effort. So I'm curious, how are the educators responding to the DPIL program? What are they thinking about it? Do they welcome it? Are they taking a wait and see? What has the response been thus far?
Our local educators are loving this program. The teachers love the idea that, especially the early teaching levels, so kindergarten, first grade, they love the idea that students are getting early access and exposure to books and reading and learning, and whether it's even just learning the social cues that we learn when we're reading a book. All of those things make their job much easier because it helps the kids kind of get into the groove once they hit school age. They are huge advocates and supporters of this program and believe in it 100%. So one of the biggest things that we are really, really excited about is that this year in Washington State, so covering 3 of our 4 counties that we support, so Washington, Columbia, and Garfield counties, our state level legislature actually is supporting the program and is actually writing funding to help support the program into legislature across Washington State. So this is something that even the state level Department of Education has looked at and looked into, both as sustainability and its, is it relative? Is it actually holding water? And have said this is a program that's going to make our future leaders stronger.
So maybe there's an Oregon legislator who's viewing today.
It's in the work. There are groups that are really actively trying to get it in front of legislature in Oregon and trying to get that similar support there. So we're working on it.
That's terrific. So Renata, how do you see this having a long-term impact upon our counties, the communities that you serve through the United Way?
I mean, I think we've said it multiple times that literacy is very important through all ages. When you start out in school all the way up to college level, literacy is the foundation. And so in our counties, especially in areas that are maybe more secluded and rural, as long as they're part of our area, they have access to these books they might not be able to otherwise. And I think that that's important. It's a starting point, and it's a starting point to have young people have access to tools to educate themselves and grow and become successful in the future. And I mean, that's what I want for Leland, is to give him the tools to be successful in the future. And I think that this program helps start that for a lot of people and families.
Well, you brought up a point that I hadn't thought of. We do have a lot of rural, there's farmers, very small communities in our area. And some of those people may not have access to a library. They have access, but maybe it's not really convenient for them to go. But that doesn't matter anymore, because this is coming right to them, and we don't have to worry about driving into the library or driving to school. Or
they can build their library at home.
And build their library at home. So if a person, you said he started at 1 month? I mean, you signed him up at 1 month?
Yeah.
So that means there are 60 months until he, maybe more.
Till he turns 5 years old.
All right.
He has the availability to get 60 free books.
Yep.
60 free books that are graduated, and they're staged for his age level.
Yes.
All the way until he gets into kindergarten. That's amazing.
Isn't that amazing? And when we talk about even, rural families and the communities that we serve, we have so many rural communities in the counties that we serve. And in addition to the limited resources that we have in rural communities and how important it is that we come together as communities to provide opportunities for our kids, the other piece that we kind of touched on was, along with a library not always being super convenient to be able to get to, a lot of times I can tell you as a parent and as a working parent, there are days when your kids want to go to the library and they want to read and they want a new book, and by the end of the day you're so tired and now the book is going to come to you, and it's so beneficial.
Yeah, well, Leland's really excited about it.
Oh, yeah.
Well, Leland, I want to thank you and your mother and Mrs. Boyle for joining us today on Valley Viewpoint and sharing the news about this wonderful program. I'm sure there are people that will want to support it and people that are going to be signing up for it very soon.
Good.
And thank you for joining us on Viewpoint. If you have an idea or a concept for a future Viewpoint, maybe you would like to be a guest, just give us a call, 509-529-9149. For Viewpoint, I'm Dan Solis.